Welcome to Global Chat Podcast. I am dead. It is 10 a.m. and I did not sleep well. I went to bed at 12 last night, and so my voice sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
Mm.
Yeah, we're here with a legend of the community. He is one of the strongest individuals I have ever met in my life. Had so much power.
Oh, that's too much praise.
He was a moderator on Earth MC Nova. He died off the face of the earth in Aurora, but he's now back. He's FBI Bro. How you doing, FBI Bro?
Good, Deku. It's nice to be on the show.
Yeah, well,
That introduction was legendary.
yep.
Was not expecting that.
So you are an infamous character, I would say. You kind of started very. How did you find Earth MC? Was it sort of like one of those sort of weird sort of things? One day you find it on like a
Uh,
Planet Minecraft website or something like that, or a friend.
The year was 2019, April
Oh,
2019 to be exact.
ooh, classic
Uh,
player. Classic player.
I think what happened was I saw a YouTube video of another Earth server.
Right.
Um, Now I think that this was back before Toy Cat made this video. I watched some other
Right.
YouTuber create a video about a
Right.
Minecraft server,
Right.
and I was trying to find it, and I ended up on EarthMC. So I did not end up finding that original server,
Hmm.
but once I found it, I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool. The whole idea of basically cosplaying in real life stuff on a
Hmm.
Minecraft server was kind of appealing to me at the time.
Right.
And so
So,
once I started, I kind of fell in love with it. And then
wait a
as
minute. You joined Classic.
yeah,
You would say you joined Classic.
no,
You joined
no,
Nova.
I did not join Classic. I joined Nova, yes.
Yeah. So you joined Nova. At the time on Nova, you would probably say that there was a lot of craziness. It just started off in like November, so there wasn't. Do you think when you joined, everything was like stable, or do you think it was still chaos?
When I joined originally, there was still a lot of open space.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these empires and nations were still growing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, seeing that um, and being part of that gameplay, I think made it really fun because empires are still growing and people want to grow. And then
Right.
that kind of ensues or kind of causes chaos to happen as well. I wouldn't say it was as chaotic as it got like after like 2020, 2021, but there was definitely a lot of action, I would say. And it was
Yeah.
fun action because everyone was kind of building up. It was not kind of late game where I guess like the meta changes and people start acting differently. So it was really exciting at that
S-
time.
So at the time, you were known as Wiznerd, would you say?
I was, yes,
So what was the
for a few
reason?
months.
Yeah, what was the reason for that name? Like that, like was it just like those old like Minecraft names?
Well, growing up, my younger brother and I shared a Minecraft account,
Right.
and so he kind of wanted to use the name Wiznerd. Uh, and so at the time that I joined the RhythmC, we still shared that account.
Right.
Eventually, what I did is I bought him his whole Minecraft account, and now he has his own Minecraft account, and I took over our older account, and I changed the name to FBI Bro.
Why FBI,
Now
bro?
why FBI Bro?
Why?
I don't know, man. Like, I just had someone tell me today that like I have a legendary username, but at the time,
Well,
uh,
yeah.
I was kind of surprised that like the name hadn't already been taken, and I'm like, okay, like I was no one thought about taking this name, and I thought that it was decently iconic
So
that it
you
was a
weren't
good name to run
affiliated
with.
with the FBI. You weren't affiliated with the FBI.
Unfortunately, I'm not affiliated with the FBI, or
Yeah.
I cannot answer that at this
Okay.
time.
Okay. Congratulations, by the way. You you joined the server. Using our little research, you joined the server basically a month ago, about 7 years ago.
No, yeah, no, it's been yeah. Like I said, I joined back in 2019, and we're in the big 2026 now. So it's like, wow, geez, 7 years. Oh my god.
So anyway, you
Talk about making me feel old, man.
yeah, well, you joined the server in its infancies. Where did you go? Because you had loads of options, right? You could
Right.
go anywhere in the world, and did you choose to go very nationalistic for your country, or did you choose to kind of go like elsewhere?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, brother. Gotta do it for nah. I ended up joining the nation of Quebec when I first started back in 2019. Um, so I was new to the server, didn't know what was going on,
Right.
and a guy called Rusal just sent a message to me, join my town. Or at the time it was actually called New Scotland, and I didn't know much better. I'm like, hey, sure, let's just see what this town's about. I joined. They invited me to their Discord server. I started talking with them.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm like, okay, these seem like a decent group of people. I'm gonna stick
So
around.
what
I'm
did
gonna
Rusal mean
build
to
friends.
you
What
as a
happens?
person? Or why did you agree to join him? Because, for example, you had many options you could have, and if you never got that text from him, would you have still been in the situation where you would have joined Quebec?
Probably not. I just took a gamble. And yeah, I just took a gamble. And I guess he was a good enough person that I chose to stick around. It was kind of just on chance, really. There's no real
Mm,
reason or motive behind it.
so what's your relation with him? Since then, was it like sort of he was like your mentor? Would you have said he told you how the stuff worked?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way of putting it. Yeah, he's definitely like one of the mentors that I had at the beginning.
Right.
Um, then he introduced me to, um, so for context, right? He was part of the nation of New Scotland that eventually became Quebec. I
Yeah.
mean, New Scotland, where's old Scotland? Um, and so he got me introduced with the old Scotland folk that at the time Britain hadn't not had full control of Great Britain.
Yeah.
They were just in the south, and Scotland was still its own nation. So he got me introduced with that group of people, and that's where I met like a lot of other cool folk like Spiffles, Captain Stein, just to name a few. And yeah, I think Gustavo, he was like a kind of like a gateway to the other friends that I would eventually have for like a long time in the server.
Right. So how was the time in the Scottish Quebec, would you have said? Was it a fun time? Or like was there like any wars you were a part of, any like sort of situations that you sort of remember from that period in that town in Bridgerton?
Yeah, when I was in Bridgeton, oh my days, how did you get that town name? Dang, your resources are insane. Um, yeah, when I was in Bridgeton, uh, I wasn't really involved in a lot of wars. Not until I was given the opportunity to actually move into England
Right.
and like buy a town there, and that's when I got involved with the England and Scotland War. I would say that was my first big war. Before that, I wasn't really involved in wars.
Right. So Bridgeton, what was the town like when you joined it? Was there many members? Was there like not a lot of members? Were you like a higher up individual in Bridgeton? Or was it just chill?
Uh, it was it was a decently sized town. I wouldn't say it was the biggest at the time. It was clear that the mayor Rusal was just trying to get members to increase his claim capacity to like grow
Yeah.
his town,
Yeah.
and like his town was built to be like a modern like downtown that you would see in Canada, where you had skyscrapers and decently sized roads. He went for the realistic model, and so we had like huge parks as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Why
and
why didn't you stay?
yeah,
Because my
well, because I was
research,
given the opportunity.
yeah, you're given the
Oh, sorry.
opportunity.
Go
Yeah, it's just saying because
go
my
ahead.
research says that you stayed there for 2 weeks. So
Yeah, it
was
was
there
not a
like,
long time. No,
yeah, yeah. Would you say there was just no loyalty there, or like, because
no, no. On the contrary, the New Scotland and Scotland were like part of the same team,
right,
and so Roos Owl had said, "Hey, like there's this opportunity over here in Scotland, or I guess the town was called Newcastle at the time.
Right.
And he's like, "Hey, would you be interested in having your own town?" And at the time, I did not know that there was a conflict going on. Right? I didn't know that my position over there would be kind of like a wartime strategy to hold the town and make it part of
Right.
Scotland.
Right.
And I was interested in kind of making my own town, and um, England kind of just seemed like a good part of the region to do it. You're in Europe, you're close to all those other towns and
Yeah, it's
communities there.
Britain. It is
Uh-huh.
Britain.
And like I was already familiar with some of the Scottish folk, since we were all in the same Discord.
Right.
And so that's why I left. So there was definitely loyalty. I wouldn't say that I left because of the lack of loyalty. No, I left because of a new opportunity.
Right. Well, what if you never got given that opportunity and then you kind of stayed in Bridgeton? Do you think that you'd have become like a high-ranking official in Quebec instead?
I think so. Yeah, that'd be likely.
So,
Um,
like,
yeah, like
this is
I probably would eventually become a high-ranking official.
yeah.
Sure.
This is the question: is what if you never got given that opportunity? It's one of those. It's one
It's
of
like the butterfly effect. You know, like
yeah.
who knows?
Like,
Who knows?
would have never
And
like
I know it's kind of like a bad answer, but I honestly don't know.
yeah. I understand. Like, it's like opportunities when they come and go. Like, but anyway, you got given the opportunity. You go to Newcastle. You're basically having a bit of fun in Newcastle, right? You've got to
Uh-huh.
you have no idea what's going on, and you set foot into the war. How was it with the Scottish people? How was it with them?
Well, they were a great group of people. Like that's where I got introduced with like Spiffles, Amber Sky, and who were some other big names over there? Uh, that's such a long time ago. But no, it was a great group of people, and it was clear that they had a passion for Scotland. I think most of them were Scottish, and sure, I wasn't Scottish myself, but just kind of seeing that kind of like that sense of community there, and they were very welcoming. Maybe because at the time I was like a pawn used in the war, but
Hmm.
I like to think not. But oh no, yeah, they're a great group of people.
Hmm. So anyway, you basically took over Newcastle, which at the
Yeah,
time wasn't founded long ago. Was founded, quite frankly, a few weeks before, right?
I
Wasn't
think so. Yeah.
yeah. And you had a guy named MBE Editor.
Hmm.
What was your
Yeah, he was
relation?
the original owner
Yeah. What was
of
your
the town.
what was the
I had no
conversation like?
idea who he was.
Yeah. So did you ever speak to
Um,
him?
no. So I assume he created the town originally, and then Rusal said, "Hey, we're looking for a new mayor for this town,"
Right.
and I forgot who transferred it, but eventually it did get to my hands. And yeah, no, I never met the guy. But yeah, he is the original
Also,
owner of
what
Newcastle.
is your relations with the username Shanka?
Oh, Shanka. So at the time when I joined, uh, there were three nations in Great Britain.
Hmm.
So you had Britain, you had the nation of UK, and you had Scotland.
Right.
All three on one island, right? And
Yeah.
so Shanka, he was the owner of the UK. He was um, an older guy, I think,
Right.
and he kind of wanted to do like his own thing. He wanted to, um, so I think he owned the town of Glasgow, and he wanted to kind of just expand his sphere of influence. Kind
Right.
of wanted to be like his own leader,
Right.
and he didn't really rub well with the rest of Scotland. Um, and so there were times where Britain would try to like influence relations between the UK and Scotland to like get stuff done on their favor. And at the time, actually, Shanka wanted me to join his nation. Um,
Right.
I can't remember if I did or not. Um, wouldn't be surprised for a small amount of time I was part of the UK, but
Right.
yeah, no. I will say though, though things did get heated between us because we were neighbors.
Right.
Sometimes like we were building like transportation connections between our towns, right? And like he like one example would be like he wouldn't like the way that I was building my like railroads. He'd be like, "No, make them this way." And I'm like, "Bro,
Right.
it's not a big deal, man. Like it's just some underground ice no one's going to see." But he was kind of like a perfectionist in the way that he wanted to develop his
Would you
town.
would you say that
And
when you took over, you sort of had to change your architectural ways in the way of building it to fit his vision?
yeah, I don't think that me and architecture belong in the same sentence together. Um, my town was very weird, let's say. So I think, sorry, later on, actually, my town kind of got this like nickname as the Acid Trip City because it looked like the builder was on an acid trip when he built the town, and that there are like so many different things that are out of
Well,
place with each other, but
well, let's
that are all kind of like
let's use something as an example. Did you know that there's a server called New Worlds?
no.
Well, this server called New Worlds, what it does is it actually archives both Nova and Aurora, so we can actually go have a look at your town right now.
But I think that'd be a good idea. I
So
would be able to like go through like what
yeah,
the
yeah,
acid trip city moments were in my town.
right.
All right.
We're going to Nova, right? So what it does is all
Yeah,
of it is a
Nova.
bit weird. So right, we've joined, right? I've joined the server. I'll share screen.
I
But
gotta say,
yeah,
yeah, I gotta see this, man.
yeah, bro. Like Britain's
Is it
completely.
like an actual link,
It's a
or
server.
what's the
It's a.
server address?
Um. I'm at Britain right now. Actually, I can move.
Okay.
Ready for some nostalgia, my friend?
Oh my days, let's do this.
All right. So
All right. All
we
right, Joe
we're at
Rogan.
we're at the shop right now as we speak. Welcome to the shop. So this is
Are we in Tesco?
Tesco, yeah.
Oh, this is like right at the end of the
Yeah.
lifespan of Britain, where it got taken over by some other guy, some random.
Yeah, so
I think he was an Italian YouTuber that ended up taking Britain at the end
yeah.
by luck. Like he was a random citizen of the town, and then when Mine Hero got banned, it goes to a random citizen, and he got lucky and picked it up.
Yeah, anyway. So when it came to Newcastle development, you would kind of say that
Yeah.
Newcastle development was very, you would say the words drugs. What was going through your mind
Yeah.
process when
Uh,
deciding how to structure the builds?
well, at the time when I had the town, it was small, so something that you'll see actually when you head to my town is that it's kind of modular in its expansion.
Yeah,
There's like a little downtown district, and eventually, as my town grew with size, as I claimed more lands and took over nearby towns, I tried to
is
keep
this your town?
I guess, the culture of that town.
Yeah, so you tried to keep
You
the
gotta head
cult.
west,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I'm heading north. Look, we're getting there.
There you go. You gotta keep going. Yep, gotta keep
Yeah,
going, man. It's a
bro,
big
there's
nation.
no fucking food on this. I have to go kill some stuff. They keep the towns. You can actually join the
And it's
towns.
okay. If you just go to my town, there's a farm there or something. You can just pick up food,
Yeah.
or like a chicken, just a chicken. Yeah. So right now we're entering from the south, heading north. We're going to walk into the Tyne district of Yorkshire.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm holding
Oh,
mic on my one hand. But no,
dang, we
look,
can already see the stadium, I think.
yeah. So
Wait, what the heck is this?
did bro
Did
look?
someone build here?
I think someone might have built her. Yeah.
I don't remember this. I don't remember there being an Among Us.
There we are.
Oh, okay. It's just beyond. I was like, bro, like, what the heck
Oh
is
my
this?
god, it's gonna rejoin. It's gonna rejoin. Do you know this server is like ran on like a it's like a really bad server. Like the guy who like pays like not a lot of fucking money for the server.
Okay.
He runs it on a box that he has. He like this shit fucking i3 box.
It's a shitbox.
Yeah, it's a shit box, yeah. So it can't handle more than like 30 people on the box. But anyway, as we were saying, like Newcastle. had like a load of builds that you would say is a bit acid trippy, as you can see.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Um,
so
so when you get there, you'll be able to see the original buildings that were there before I inherited it. It's like a small little block,
well,
but
we're now at the stadium.
yeah, so and that has its own history. That's been there since like probably the end of 2019. I actually built it.
So why did you
It
build the
even has their old
stadium?
Europa League logos.
Why did you build the stadium? What was the story behind the stadium?
So I'm into soccer or football,
Yep.
like the British people like to say it, and I kind of wanted to add that into the UK. And at the time, there were no stadiums on Earth MC or like no
Right.
soccer stadiums. I'm
Right.
like, bro, like it's the world's game, and you're telling me that no one has thought of this yet? And I'm not gonna say that my structure is pretty because it's not. Like, look at it, it's stone, but
Yeah.
the interior is decent.
Yeah.
Um,
You could kind of say it's been built for
and
welcome to Yorkshire.
it was, it was built in a time where times were tough, and
Yeah.
architecture wasn't my strength. And
So
so
so you
what
didn't have a build
happened
strength.
as well is by building this, I was able to kind of kickstart the recreational and competitive PvP of Earth MC.
Right.
People would hunt each other in the wild, and wars would happen, but no one had really established like a competition where people could PvP to determine who was the best.
Right.
And so I think that with the creation of this building here,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, don't worry.
I was able to host my own stuff
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kind of yeah.
When you were looking at the PvP sort of thing, you made this organization of the Cup tournament. Were you trying to, because of the fact that EarthMC doesn't really have like a PvP plugin, to try and give some emphasis for PvPers? Would you have said?
Um, I like the competition, and I kind of just wanted to give people a chance to prove like who the best was.
Right.
Um,
Oh
so
my
yeah,
god.
sure. And like Earth MC PvP, it's not the
This is
yeah.
nostalgic for me.
Now you see why it's an acid trip city.
Yeah, can I tell
Holy
you something
moly!
that was a bit nostalgic to me? It's a funny story.
Oh my days.
I was
Yeah, go ahead.
recording my first EarthMC video, and I needed, and it was the end of Nova, and we were getting ready for Aurora. I don't know if I still have the
Hmm.
footage, but I recorded down these stairs, and this was back
Oh
when I
my
was
days.
13, I think 14, 15-ish.
So yeah, like
No,
right here, we're kind of
yeah. So
yeah.
I used this as like a sort of emphasis for like a cinematic. I didn't know how to use replay
Hey,
mod.
you know,
Didn't know how to use replay
think
mod.
something that is really different now that like we're on this server, right? It's like the render distance is a lot higher. Back in the day, the render distance in the server was really low, so you couldn't see any of the skyscrapers nearby.
Yeah.
Now seeing it here for the first time and you can see everything, I'm like, bro, what is my city?
Yeah, but you, I'm gonna say
What
this:
the heck
you don't have a
was I
bad
on?
you don't have a bad city. It's just very. I see
It
why.
catches your eye.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what was this art? So why were you choosing this architectural design, and who did you trust to build these interesting architectures? Because this does not look like Newcastle at all.
No, no, this is not IRL Newcastle.
Oh God.
So okay, perfect. We're like at the town center right here. Um, so what you're looking right in front of you are the original buildings that were in Newcastle before I took over. We had those like clay buildings that are behind the sign over here,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Oh look,
So I built the majority of this.
look who it is.
Um,
Current mayor.
current mayor,
In
FBI, bro, let's go.
the Discord. Who is this
Yeah.
current motherfucker? MP. Real ninja.
No, so in British Parliament, we would have members of Parliament for each town, and he was the representative of Yorkshire. Um,
What was your relationship at the time before we continue on to the Britain stuff? Like, Were you in
Yeah.
Britain or were you in the UK?
Then Britain and UK. I was in Scotland. Like my nation was Scotland, right? I think briefly I was in the UK, but Shanka eventually fucked off, and he gave the town up, and it eventually made its way to Britain. But I didn't join Britain until the war between Scotland and Britain ended, and you could say that Scotland lost, where Scotland ended up joining Britain, but we still kind of had our own autonomy to like do our own things. And so if you go to my town, at the highest point, in the Pennines, I think, hopefully that's what it's called, or the Pennines. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not a local. Um, there's a monument for the Scottish government up there, where it's like a grave site,
Right.
and you can see that, like, in the rest in peace, Scottish government, and I think it also has like the list of like time periods that it was a thing.
Yeah, so were you involved in like the Scottish government and all that?
Yeah, I was the first minister of Scotland,
Right.
right at the very end,
Right.
right before we merged with Britain.
So what was the discussion like with merging with Britain?
Um, despite being first minister, I wasn't really involved in that discussion. It was in between, like the kings and queens of Scotland at the time, which
Right.
were or not Shanko, sorry, Spiffles. He was one of the kings, and they came to an agreement. And honestly, I don't remember what the agreement was, but we moved our nation offshore to an oil rig off the west coast of Britain. So like
Right.
that's where the Scotland nation
So
stayed, and then we all joined Britain.
right. So why do you think Scotland was failing, and why do you think they came to that deal?
I think they were just tired, honestly, tired of the war, tired of kind of like the banter back and forth, and they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I think a few of them at the time were also getting bored of the server. They had already completed what they wanted to do. They had built their own towns, and they were developed. And I guess they just lost the passion
Right.
and just chose to move on.
Right. So would you say that the whole server in itself, how are you feeling at a certain point merging into Britain, sort of the change of scenery being under a potential band player?
Yeah, so at the time that I moved to Newcastle, I'd actually interacted with Mine Hero. He walked up to my town, um, and like he's like, yeah, it's um, like why are you part of Scotland? You should join us. They're the real bad guys, not us. And
What was your viewpoint of the war?
yeah, so I was kind of taught, by New Scotland and then later Scotland that they were the bad guys, and I just kind of went along with it. Um, They would try to prove why they were bad, but honestly, I don't remember what they did. I mean, it was a war. I wouldn't be surprised if both parties were at fault. But then again, knowing Britain and what they eventually became, I wouldn't be surprised if they were the aggressors to begin with. Um, so yeah, I was kind of taught, hey, like they're bad people. But eventually, we joined them and we kind of put our differences aside, and it turned out to be a decent group of people. I found a lot of good friends within the greater British community. So I think all in all, it was a positive decision to join with Britain. Hello. Hopefully my connection did not die, but I think we're good. Deku.
Sorry. Yeah,
All
just
good.
yeah, like I said, I got family now, so a bit more complicated.
All good.
So anyway, there's this beacon here. There's also a guy in
Yeah.
chat saying FBI bros looking, and he said crazy stuff. I don't know if he knows you. He might know you.
Cool.
This guy.
Yeah, bro's looking.
Anyway,
I,
so
don't- I don't know who it is.
anyway, so
Anyways,
you
yeah.
were at the peak of absolute stardom, would you say that this was around like 2019, 2020?
My peak of stardom,
Yeah, your peak of stardom. Would you say that this was at the end of
and that wasn't until
2019?
much later.
Yeah, but would you say that the peak when you joined Britain was like 2019, 2020?
I would say more like 2020, 2021, maybe even 2022.
Right, so you became mod at this point.
I did.
How was that discussion like? What was the application like for you at the time? And why did you become mod?
Uh, well, I fell in love with the server and the community. Like at the time, I had my own, PvP event going on. I'd made friends with like other mods as well. Like Neo Wild at the time was a mod. I was very good friends with him. And like the other mods that were in Europe, there's so many, or Cobb Lobster, also a good friend, also previous mod. Um, and yeah, I was friends with them, and it just kind of seemed like the natural next step to do, um, to make sure that people were following, the spirit of what EarthMC stood for.
Yeah,
And
so
so that's really why I decided to join. I'm like, okay,
how's the application period?
I think I filled out a Google Forms, and then they interviewed me, I think, or like after I got accepted as a helper, you kind of go through like a trial mod period where they see if you're cut out for it, and guess they must have liked me because I stayed. Um, so yeah, it was nice when I was a mod, but dang, there was a lot of work, and with other life commitments outside of EarthMC, it eventually became too much.
Hmm. So at this point, you kind of grew up as a person. Would you have said in this period?
I, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, after COVID, I went off to college, and commitment started to change, and I guess I got older. Was no longer a teenager.
So when you became helper, how was the sort of change with the British? Did they sort of see it as, oh, we've now got a helper or a mod on our side or something?
There was some banter about that, like, hey, we got a mod on our team now. Uh, so the British, we had um, rivalries, I guess you could say, in Europe. The big one being SPQR at the time, and like France as well. Um, and so they had their own mods, and
Yeah. Also,
from my point of view,
how's the
they were good
mods?
people.
Like,
Like, like Corrupted Greed.
how's the wars with you? Like, here's the thing: like, you now a mod. You've also got to deal with the British wars. You had the Commonwealth,
Yeah,
right? You technically took over the world
yeah,
at one point. You had the biggest end spawn, I would say. Britain was
yeah.
very influential. How did you deal with the pressure each day? How did the group deal with the pressure?
Well, there was a lot of us, and I wasn't involved with the leadership of the whole empire. For like parts of my career, I guess you could say, I was Prime Minister of Britain, but I was only of Britain, so my responsibilities were local. Um, and well, with being moderator, an important distinction that we had to have was that separation between moderating and playing. There were like a few people that when they were mods, they would abuse their power, and they eventually got like kicked, or they would lose their mod powers, right? And um, balancing that, I guess you could say, was kind of hard. You had to be disciplined to like not use your powers to benefit your nation. Um,
Hmm. Yeah.
but yeah, no, but just having like the different group of people to rely on, Mind Hero, Future Lemon, Tom, Rosebrugs, just to name a few of other people that I worked with.
Right.
And our friends that we had across the Commonwealth. Um, yeah, like
Yeah. Looking
dang, why can't I
back,
think of his name right now?
looking
Like
back at the sort of
Unbaited and
Britain,
Maple.
yeah, Unbaited still around.
Yeah.
Looking back, would you have said the British dominance was a? How did you feel about the British dominance in the Nova?
Man, bro, it felt good. If it felt good being on top. I'm not gonna lie. Just being in, or I guess control and power is addicting, and it definitely got to like certain people. Um,
Right.
I tried not to let it get to my head because I knew that I wasn't really the one in power. I was just part of
Here's the
it.
biggest question.
Uh,
You guys
yeah,
are in control of one of the biggest nations on earth, and you said it got to certain people. Did do you
yeah,
when it came to certain people, would you have said that
mhm,
that let me ask you this. If
yeah.
somebody if it got to somebody's head, would you have said that it would have impacted them as a person? Do you think Britain impacted you as a person, and do you think Britain impacted people as a people with the scope?
Um, I definitely think it impacted other people. Like there were a lot of people that were pissed at us for what we were doing. Oh, there's this one guy, I forgot his name. One of the 32 people. Like he
Right.
was triggered, man. Every time I would talk with him, he was pissed. And there was this
32
big,
Penguin?
well, I guess
Was
it's
it
no
was it
longer a
Henri? Oh yeah.
no, no, it wasn't Henri. No, but you know, people at the time I didn't know about like the eventual like my hero duping and all, or not duping, my bad. What's the other word? Not duping. When you have multiple accounts, alting, and like all that stuff going on, with
Let me
Britain people.
let me ask you a question.
People at the
Everyone is
time, yeah, yeah,
thinking that he is Tacitus. There are allegations that he is Tacitus. Do you think that he is
Tacitus.
Tacitus? Yeah, the guy in Britain right now. He was in Britain
I
earlier
have no
on.
idea, man. I mean, I wouldn't count it out, but I think the odds are low. I have no idea, like honestly,
Fair enough.
but I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised because it came from 32 Dan.
Hey, did 32 Dan used to be called 32 Gold, or is that someone else?
Yeah, 32 gold, basically.
That's the same person.
Yeah, 32 gold. Yeah, same
Okay,
person. That's where this our
yeah, like
accusations
okay.
come from.
I mean, he ended up being right, but at the time, like I thought he was a schizo because of like, oh, like your nation is full of cheaters and people that are all and at the time, I'm like, bro, this guy is just mad because he's bad, and because like we have power. Nah, it turns out he was right, and I'm like, shit, bro, like I'm
So,
sorry for doubting you
so
because he ended up being right.
yeah, when it, what I want to get at is you're involved with these group of people. These group of people, you could say, had
Yeah,
built one of the biggest nations on EMC. They had a lot of power
hmm,
at their fingertips,
yeah,
including you
yeah,
at one point because you were the prime minister. In your prime minister tenure,
hmm.
how did you handle your prime minister tenure when you were prime minister of Britain?
When I was prime minister, it was mostly like I became in charge of negotiations,
Right,
and I myself was relatively peaceful. Like
right,
I wouldn't start wars. I would be more like managing relations, building infrastructure. Um, I was actually like one of the more peaceful prime ministers of Britain. We didn't really expand much during my time as prime minister, or during my 3 times as prime ministers, we didn't really expand
right,
much. I was actually responsible for why the prime minister system went away, and that was because I was inactive at the end of my
right.
third run as a prime minister.
Would you
Uh,
would you say that at the end of the day, when you're looking back and you're basically looking at like these groups of people, you see what happens now with the Future Lemon stuff, right? How did you
yeah.
feel about that
hmm
at the time?
I was shocked. I seeing that you don't expect your closest
Yeah.
friends to be in those positions, and so
Hmm.
seeing that was like disheartening. I was upset. Yeah, I mean,
It was
not
like
really much to
it was
talk about
kind of
there.
weird. It's like from 2021, which you would say was the peak of your powers. You were a prime minister. You did a lot of infrastructure projects. Like, what were the
Yeah.
sort of elements that you miss now from this Britain, and what were the sort of elements that you wish would have never came back?
Well, I miss the community, man. Like I was friends with a lot of people there, and well, not just Britain, but the whole of Earth MC. Had friends in Rio Grande, had friends in Cascadia, friends all over, really. Like, and um, that's the part that I miss about Earth MC in Britain the most. What I don't miss, honestly, was all the drama. There was so much drama. And I mean, you could say, bro, it's an Earth MC, like it's normal for that to happen. You're playing a geopolitical server. There is gonna be drama, right? And that kind of builds the sense of community because people end up trauma bonding with each other, like people do in the real workplace
Do
or
do you
in
think
real life.
at the time, because you I've mentioned this before, it was 2020. That is a different Nova
Yeah,
is a different beast. Do you think
yeah,
that
peak vid.
yeah, do you think that back then it was crazy beyond belief and was the surrounding areas? This is why I don't, this is why I say I feel like Britain was probably one of the biggest influences. How did you
Yeah.
guys survive Nova? Like, and the way you guys died, but it was like at the end of Nova as well. It was like you guys survived the peak years, the absolute
Mm-hmm.
years that a lot of people nowadays probably would not survive. Like, what was the coping strategy?
Coping strategy. I mean, it's just to have your friends to work with.
Yeah. Do you think that if overclaim was a
Having
thing,
each other, having each
do
other.
you
I think that was the number one thing.
do you think if overclaim was a thing back in Nova, that you would have probably a lot of things could have been sorted out sooner?
Yeah, I think nations would not have lasted as long either, us included. Sure, we would have conquered stuff, but as soon as we became inactive, boom, our towns are gone. Um,
So
so I mean, I think it would have helped us in like the first part of like the British Empire, where they were in like invading, taking territories. Oh,
yeah,
bro, they would have had a field day. Just you know, ta- taking over Scotland would have been easy for them,
yeah. So
like so easy. And same with Ireland
how did you deal with tickets? What was what was your process?
with like mod tickets.
Yeah, mod tickets, etc. What was your style of modding?
I was very by the book. I was very like word of the law, or yeah, like the word of the law is the law, and we should just read the law for how the word says it is. I was very literal with the law because I thought that was the best way to enforce it because people read it and they'll follow what they read and not what they believe the law should be. Um, and for some people, they like that. Okay, like he's just following the rules as the rules were written. And some people were like, hey, but like that's not what the rule is there. Like it's not his purpose. It's not the spirit of the rule. Um, and
Do you
I would
believe
tend to give,
that
yeah,
there was and I'm sorry to ask you this question, but I gotta ask it.
no, go ahead.
Cryptid said that the old Nova staff were not good at handling like evidence, and the whole reason why Future Lemon was unbanned was because of mishandling evidence. Do you think that Nova staff mishandled evidence back then?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, most of us are teenagers, okay? Like, we're probably not good at handling stuff in the first place. Um,
Right. Fair
so I
enough.
wouldn't be surprised if we messed up with that. Um,
Right.
and hopefully they're doing better now. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's why I've applied. I think the
It
staff
seems like they're a lot more structured now,
yeah.
and it's like more like a job than what it used to be. Like before, I
Well,
mean,
if you're admin or
it
you're
kind of felt like
senior
volunteering,
developer,
right?
you know that Warrior gets paid, right? How did you feel when Warrior got that position? Like he's now getting paid. Bro's getting paid to be on
I
EMC.
mean, when Warrior was in Britain, we were all friends, right? So Warrior included. Um, and I don't know if you know like what went down between, My Hero, Future Lemon, Angloist, and Warrior, and like how they got banned in the first place. I don't know how much you know about that.
How did they get banned?
from what I've heard, is that uh like Mind Hero in confidence told Warrior something. That was like bannable, and like Warrior turned it over to the mods, and then that's how they got banned. And so I think that caused a schism. I mean, that definitely caused a schism between them, right? Like they were no longer friends. Like you tell your friend something in confidence, and like
Mm.
he was a mod at the time, Warrior. Like he didn't really have a choice. Like if you tell someone that you're breaking the rules of EarthMC, and then they go ahead and tell the mods, the rest of the mod community that hey, they're doing it. Like bro, you're gonna get banned. So I mean, Warrior did what he had to do. Um,
Right.
so I don't really blame him for anything. I mean, I would have probably done the same thing if I was in his position. So that's probably why they didn't tell me anything. Because I was a mod, right? Like Future Lemon, or not, sorry, or like Mind Hero didn't tell me that he had alts or whatnot, right?
Well, now Mine Hero's unbanned,
Okay.
apparently. But at the end of the day, what I'm going to ask is the final day for EMC for you. When did you know it was over for you?
So final day. Oof. It was a gradual process. Um, as in real life, stuff started getting more serious. I was in uni at the time. It's like junior, senior year now. I'm focusing on my life and like my outside friend groups and stuff. COVID had just ended. I'm trying to live life. I kind of lost the passion. And then when all the leadership of Britain effectively got banned, uh, it caused a lot of infighting within our community. Um, so like there was this big power vacuum that was caused, and Rose Bruggs, Unbaited, and I, and Tom, and other people that were like the next people up, try to basically pick up that vacuum, and a lot of words were said, and then it kind of just became kind of pissy and stuff, and I was like, you know what, like this isn't worth it. Like I got real life
Why
stuff to
did
do.
Wales fail? That's the question.
Inactivity.
Really?
Inactivity for sure. I mean,
Mm.
I think Rose Bruggs and I and everyone else, we were all in similar points in our life where we're just kind of tired of it,
Right.
focusing in real life.
Yeah.
So, we all kind of just left around the same time.
Mm.
The fun was over. We were no longer the powerhouses, I guess, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that discouraged some people.
Mm. So, would you say that when Aurora was announced, did you join? Did you have fun on Aurora, or did you just decide that's it for me?
The Aurora was around late 2022,
Yeah.
right? Uh,
Early 2022.
I do remember seeing what it was about, but I didn't really do much. Um, Thinking of joining in Neo Wild, I think.
NSR.
Uh, yes, NSR.
I fucking
Was that a
hated
sound?
NSR. I hated NSR. I looked up to Britain back in the day. I saw you guys as the strong guys, and I wanted to recreate that in Aurora,
No,
and it failed.
NSR wasn't it. I mean, we created NSR in Nova, right? Like that's what our nation became once like Britain and wait, was 2023? Am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping. No, never mind. I was not part of this. NSR in Aurora was something else. Sorry, I'm kind of looking into this for the first time too.
Yeah, no, there was because I was just asking what you were doing on Aurora, if you did anything on Aurora.
No, I was not part of NSR. Most of what I did in Aurora was I played Earth MC soccer. That's what I did, and um, yeah, I played like American football and soccer, and that's what I did.
So, we're now in Nostra. How do you feel about the new map? Are you playing again?
Yeah, I joined for the first time, before this podcast, I tried to see what it was about, try to see if the nostalgia would hit in. Honestly, man, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I joined, and I don't know. It's like every time a new server starts, like my passion kind of faded away. It happened in Aurora, but I think the big reason why the passion hit or like hit the passion got the biggest hit there was because of all the effort and all the time that I had spent building Yorkshire, from the small like 5 chunk town to the eventual like 300 chunk town that it became, spanning across both sides of England, um, and the community of friends that had already left, and seeing people leave like that, and all your work basically having to be restarted, it was discouraging. And there are people that came back and said, "Okay, guys, like let's do this for real. Let's give it another go and stuff." But it wasn't the same. And so that's how it feels now. I mean, I know less people that play um what's this new server called?
Nostra.
Yeah, like fewer people play Nostra that I know than played
Mm.
Aurora that I know.
How would you describe your time on EMC?
I think overall it was a net positive.
Mm.
Met a lot of cool people. I still talk to a lot of them to today. Um, you know, so I would have never met them if I hadn't played Earth MC.
Mm-hmm.
And so the community was the biggest plus.
Yeah.
And sure, we might have all gotten brain cancer playing Earth MC and stuff, and going through all those trials and tribulations that playing geopolitical service gives you.
And COVID.
Character development too.
And COVID.
Yeah, and then during COVID, man, like when you couldn't go outside, you needed some other way to create friends, and that was the way for me. I started playing the server when I was a junior in high school, 2019, all the way continuously up until I was a junior in college, like 3-4 years of decent playtime. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I would say it was pretty formative.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually,
Did
we all have to grow up and move on
did
with our lives.
EMC the last question, did EMC help you in your future life?
No,
Because
probably
here's the
not.
thing, Morghini, he
Yeah, yeah,
used
yeah. He was a good friend.
EMC.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
part of
yeah, he used
Quebec and stuff. Yeah.
EMC to get into university.
Oh yeah, no, I do remember him talking about that. I think we were all together when he was talking about that.
He told me on the podcast, and then you've also got my friend who's doing maps because of EMC. So that's why I asked
Like
the question.
that's his job now. He does maps.
Yeah, he does maps, like for construction.
Oh, like he makes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
he's a drafter. Like he drafts
yeah,
details and stuff.
yeah. For because of EMC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that's why I say EMC
I mean,
affects us in a lot of lives. We are building a project. You build a thing,
uh-huh.
and you're leaving a legacy.
I mean, like that's kind of what I do, like in my day to day now. Um, I'm a structural engineer. That's my day job now. I'm all
Mm.
grown up, and structural engineers, they build the community around them, like
Well,
buildings and stuff. That's
you
what I
could
do.
kind of
I
say that EMC has had an impact on that. Would you say?
100%. I just didn't even think about this until now that you brought it up.
Yeah,
Like I
the
was
way
always
you
interested in
build
building
stuff.
stuff,
Like
right?
for example, if you never built the way you did, you probably now if you built something, you probably build it the best way possible.
Oh, and then now I'm very, very like conscious of
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
physics and stuff
conscious.
that like happen in buildings. I'm like, bro, that beam ain't gonna support that floor. You gotta add like a column of blocks here to make it look structurally sound.
Yeah,
And like for example, I was helping Cloud Lobster build like a bridge, and I'm like, bro, this is not like it's not gonna stand. Like it needs more supports and stuff. And I started like making it look more realistic and stuff. I'm like, okay, like that's a bridge I would want to walk on because I would know it's safe. Um, yeah.
anyway, on that note, I guess that's it.
All right. Sounds
Pleasure.
good, man.
I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Deku. See you.